Have you ever wondered what it's like to live in the coldest inhabited place on Earth? Not just a place that gets a little snowy in the winter, but a place so brutally cold that your eyelashes can freeze together, your breath instantly crystallizes, and car engines must run around the clock so they don't solidify into useless blocks of metal. This place is not some frozen outpost where only scientists rotate in and out. No, this is a real village with real families, schools, farms, and traditions. The name is Oymyakon, tucked deep in the Siberian region of Russia, and it holds the record as the coldest permanently inhabited settlement in the world. Most of us can barely imagine what minus 20 degrees Celsius feels like. We struggle to shovel the driveway, fumble with gloves, and warm our cars when the temperature dips just below freezing. But Oymyakon doesn't operate in that zone. Winters here regularly fall below minus 50 degrees Celsius, and the coldest recorded temperature for a living community was registered here, minus 71.2 degrees Celsius. That's colder than most freezers. That's the kind of cold where metal burns skin to the touch, where exposed flesh freezes in moments, and where every breath you take feels like inhaling knives. Yet people not only survive here, they thrive, building a way of life adapted to the extremes of nature in ways that seem both astonishing and inspiring. So how did this community come to be? And why do people still live in such extreme conditions? The story begins with geography. Oymyakon lies in a valley surrounded by mountains, creating a natural freezer where cold Arctic air sinks and stagnates, trapped in place with nowhere to escape. This is why the settlement regularly records such intense lows. Unlike other places on Earth that experience brief cold snaps, Oymyakon stays cold, relentlessly, for months. Winters are long and punishing, lasting from October until well into April. That's half the year locked in deep freeze. You might wonder, what about summer? Surely it must stay cold year-round. Strangely enough, summers in Oymyakon can be surprisingly warm, sometimes reaching up to 30 degrees Celsius. That means the same soil that lies frozen solid for months can bloom with green pastures in June and July. The contrast is staggering. Imagine standing in the exact same field where 6 months earlier temperatures were cold enough to freeze your lungs, and now you're wearing a t-shirt under the bright Siberian sun. This extreme difference between seasons, known as continental climate, is one of the most dramatic anywhere on Earth. Life in Oymyakon is a test of resilience. Every single aspect of daily existence must bend to the will of the cold. For example, running water is nearly impossible to maintain. Pipes would simply freeze solid. Most homes rely on outhouses instead of indoor plumbing, because building heated systems underground is a futile battle. Cars are another story altogether. If you turn off your car engine overnight, you might not start it again until spring. Many residents simply keep their engines running day and night throughout the winter, wasting fuel but ensuring survival. Even garages are heated, not to keep people warm, but to keep vehicles alive. Mechanics must become wizards of improvisation, using heat lamps, open fires, and even homemade contraptions to keep machines operational. Then there's the challenge of food. What can possibly grow in a place where soil stays frozen for much of the year? Not much. The traditional diet of Oymyakon is heavily meat-based: horse meat, reindeer, fish pulled from icy rivers, and fatty foods designed to sustain energy in freezing temperatures. Yakut horses, a breed native to this region, are specially adapted to withstand the brutal cold. Their meat and milk are staples. Frozen fish, like omul and whitefish, are eaten raw, sometimes sliced like sashimi straight from the ice. The extreme climate makes farming nearly impossible, so preservation, hunting, and fishing are essential skills passed down through generations. But Oymyakon isn't just a survival camp. It is home. The village has a population of around 500 to 1,000 people, fluctuating as families move or stay. Children go to school like anywhere else, except they get a unique kind of snow day. If the temperature drops below minus 52 degrees Celsius, school is canceled. Imagine that being the threshold. For most of us, -5 would be enough to shut everything down. For them, it's just another normal morning. People still go about their days, tending livestock, visiting neighbors, sharing meals, and keeping traditions alive, despite the cold that presses against every window and seeps into every breath. Tourists occasionally make the trek to Oymyakon, fascinated by its reputation as the coldest place on Earth. They come bundled in layers upon layers, snapping photos as their phones die from the cold, experiencing the novelty of throwing boiling water into the air and watching it turn instantly into snow. For visitors, it's a shocking adventure. For locals, it's life. There is no romanticism in walking to the outhouse in -60 or in chopping endless firewood to keep a house warm. There is only the constant rhythm of survival, balanced by community and tradition. And yet, for all its harshness, Oymyakon holds a kind of beauty that is unmatched. The frozen forests sparkle under weak sunlight. The snow, undisturbed, blankets the land in silence so deep that even a whisper feels loud. The night sky, free from pollution, reveals stars that seem close enough to touch. The northern lights occasionally ripple across the horizon, painting green and purple waves over the frozen land. This is a place that humbles you, strips away distraction, and reminds you how fragile yet resilient humans can be. It's tempting to ask, why not leave? Why not move to a warmer city where life is easier? Some do, of course. But for many, Oymyakon is more than geography. It is identity. Their families have lived here for generations. Their traditions are rooted in this soil, this valley, this air. Moving away would mean leaving behind not only a home, but a history. There's pride in surviving what few others could. There's meaning in enduring, in knowing that your community holds the record for humanity's limit against cold. Oymyakon also raises deeper questions for all of us. How much of human life is shaped by comfort? We design cities around convenience, invent gadgets to remove effort, and dream of endless ease. But here is a place that defies ease at every turn. And still, people smile, gather, laugh, love, and build lives. It's a reminder that human resilience is greater than we often realize. The extremes of nature are not just something to escape, they are something we can adapt to if we choose. And perhaps that's why Oymyakon fascinates outsiders. It isn't just about the cold. It's about witnessing a community that redefines what's possible. It makes us question our own limits. Could we survive here? Could we find joy where every step outside is dangerous? Could we embrace hardship not as punishment, but as a way of life? The village also serves as a warning. As climate change reshapes the planet, extreme weather will become more common in places unaccustomed to it. The adaptability of Oymyakon residents offers lessons for the rest of us. They show that survival isn't about eliminating hardship. It's about learning to live with it, to bend with nature instead of fighting against it. Ultimately, the story of Oymyakon is not just about cold. It's about endurance, culture, and humanity's ability to carve out life in the harshest corners of Earth. It challenges our ideas of comfort. It deepens our respect for resilience. And it inspires awe at the sheer determination of people who choose to call the coldest inhabited place on Earth their home. Oh. So next time you grumble about scraping ice from your windshield, or shiver when the thermostat dips a little too low, think of Oymyakon. Think of children bundled up heading to school in -50. Think of families sharing frozen fish under the glow of candlelight. Think of engines running through the night just to stay alive. And then realize, even in the most unforgiving places, human life finds a way, not just to exist, but to belong.